Hello everyone, and this is Kavfire. Welcome back to another episode of Warhammer 40k Rogue Trader. So, we will continue where we left off after the prologue. We had just became the Rogue Trader. Before we continue on, we need to level up and up to level 5, so let's get into it. Starting off with Judge Shred. Alright, so for Judge Shred, he's going to get 5 in intelligence. Not intelligence, agility, my apologies. And also the ability Swiss Slaughter. So, this basically means I can use Revival and Slaughter after 2 kills instead of 3, which is actually a pretty good ability. Alright, next up is Abelard. Alright, for Abelard's level, he's going to get Clenched Teeth, which gives him plus 5 damage deflection against the first attack made by every enemy in this combat. I think that's supposed to be in combat. He's also going to get plus 5 to his toughness. And that's going to be it for him. Moving on to Adira. Alrighty, for Adira, she'll be getting plus 5 to willpower. And she'll also be getting Second Sight. The Psychic Psychonic powers that have a range cell of 2 or more have their range increased by their perception modifier. And next up is Argenta, and then we'll be done with the level ups. Alrighty, for Argenta, she's going to get plus 5 in Ballista skill, and she's also going to get Swiss Slaughter, and that is it for all the level ups. Continue on with the main story. Alright, before we actually move on, we're going to talk to everyone on the bridge, see if they have anything no to say. Okay, let's talk to Argenta.
Rogue Trader. I indeed have a request, Rogue Trader. The accursed servants of Chaos who assaulted this ship took the lives of your loyal crew members, and they orphaned many children, including the progeny of the brave officers who defended their posts until the bitter end. I don't know what customary practices there are for cases like this in Von Valancia's territory, but in the world I'm familiar with, the children of such brave souls could expect to receive some special consideration. Perhaps the Rogue Trader could meet with the orphans? I will pass on your instructions. Thank you for taking my request to heart.
Okay. We're gonna meet up with some orphans. Okay. Eh. You can't really expect more from the Imperium.
Greetings. I first came here when I found myself in need of passage from Footfall to a remote planet. But I imagine what interests you is not that first journey, but rather what brought me aboard prior to the cultist attack. That story is complicated. It just so happened that I made a mistake. In a moment of laxity, I was ambushed by the accursed followers of the archenemy. I was badly wounded. Lady Theodora came to my aid and brought me aboard her ship, where crew attended to me in my weakened state. It all happened not too long ago. I had barely recovered from my wounds when the cultists struck. Truly, the servants of evil know no rest. There is no place where we can be safe from their machinations. Sadly, they did not. Lady Theodora was in a hurry and chose not to stay on the planet. Her people took me to a ship while I was unconscious, and when I came to my senses, we were already flying away. How I pray to come face to face with those heretics once more, and it's bound to happen someday. It happens even to the best of us. My mistakes are my burden to bear. On one of the recently discovered planets in the Expanse, no one suspected that it had already been tainted by the filth of heresy. Had I known it beforehand, of course I would have been on my guard. The path to that planet was lost. All the knowledge is gone, along with the previous navigator. It would take immense effort and resources to rediscover the route. The heir to the von Valanci's protectorate must have plenty of other issues to deal with right now. Perhaps later, when the skies above our heads have cleared. I hadn't been here that long. Just one journey from Footfall, and the other journey, the majority of which I spent in the confines of the medbay. I can't tell you much about the first voyage. I was more focused on prayers and ruminations than on the people around me, or the journey itself. During the last journey, Seneschal Viserion stood out for me. He came by several times to ask about my health. He's an honorable man and a loyal servant of the Imperium. I think he is as meticulous in his inspections of the logistics systems as he is in his inquiries about the health of the occasional sister of battle aboard the ship. But not all of Theodora's people have earned my trust. You know who I'm talking about. There is no place for Adira Tlas among the God Emperor's faithful. I'm surprised she wasn't in league with the cultists. And I'm equally surprised by how deep heresy and treason run in this place. I'm glad we all made it through that dark hour. May the day that follows be bright. As you wish. Gladly. There are none more faithful to the God Emperor than my sisters. We fight against his enemies by the will of the Holy Ecclesiarchy. I beg your pardon, Rogue Trader. Here I am talking about what every lesser noble in the Imperium knows. So what exactly are you interested in hearing about? It is. The Sisters of Battle are a fire lit by the God Emperor. They are the echo of his voice that travels through the dark expanses of the universe. We bring his wrath to heretics, mutants, and other enemies of humanity. We protect the faithful from the unholy and unhallowed. Sometimes with words, more often than not with a bolter. Even the novices of the Adeptus Sororitas are drawn from among the most worthy. Those who have taken the vows and become a full-fledged sister are the best of the best, tested by trials of body and spirit. Yes, There have been cases when a sister stumbled or showed weakness, but do not expect to hear a story of depravity or downfall from me. Each such occurrence is a great tragedy for us all. Light cannot bear the smallest speck of darkness within. And thus those who have trespassed or shown weakness of spirit are given a chance at redemption. They are called Sisters Repentia, and may the enemy tremble before her, for nothing can stop a sister of battle who yearns to be cleansed of faults and weakness. Wearing nothing but robes, no armor, eviscerator in hand, those sisters who have once faltered find repentance on the battlefield. Their lives are seldom long, but a death in the name of purgation is a better fate than to live with a shadow in one's soul. Once I had completed my novitiate, I was sent to the Calixian branch of the Order of Our Martyred Lady, assigned to the Order's Pronatus. The Order's mission is vital and noble. The Sisters Pronatus protect great relics of the Imperium. We guard them, preserve them, escort them when they are brought onto the battlefield or presented for pilgrims to venerate. And we seek out the relics that have been lost. Neither a coven of heretics nor the most wicked death world can deter Sisters Pronatus when their goal is to return a piece of the great legacy of the Imperium into the hands of the faithful. Don't let the name deceive you. The Order's militant trains sisters to march onto the battlefield as an army. That does not make sisters who belong to the non-militant orders timid and helpless. Both the solace-bringing Sisters Hospitaller and the enlightened Sisters Dialogus know how to greet enemies of humanity. Their dialogue with heretics is usually quite short, with the last word being a bolter discharge. And my order has all the more reason to be known for the martial prowess of its sisters. We are the keepers of the Imperium's relics. What would become of our blessed hero's legacy if the Sisters Pronatus could not protect it? The Order sent me to Footfall. My undertaking was to assist the local priesthood of Drusians in caring for a sacred reliquary that had been there since the time of Parsimus Duane, the station's founder. None that I'm aware of, but the Sisterhood's orders are many, and can operate independently of one another, sending their sisters wherever their presence is needed as deemed by the Ecclesiarchy. Perhaps somewhere in the Lord Inquisitor's retinue, may his path be blessed, my sisters perform their duty as we speak. I wish it were so. Even a single evening spent in joint prayer and training would bring me joy. Should any more arise, keeping them to yourself would be imprudent. It is a virtue to take an interest in holiness. About me? I am the Emperor's daughter and his servant. What else is there to tell about me? The ship was targeted by heretics, which means that my presence here and the assistance I provide to you are my sacred duty. Sooner or later, I will likely have to return to Footfall to protect its reliquary, but for now, I wish to remain a part of the Rogue Trader's crew. So they shall.
Okay, that's fair.
Lord Captain. A noble aspiration, Lord Captain. I am ready to acquaint you with all the particulars that interest you. This is a topic for an official briefing, not a casual conversation. But I will try to answer succinctly. And if you permit, in my own words, the Coronis Expanse is considerably removed from the heart of the Imperium. This means that local warp routes become useless within months. Established pathways are regularly subject to attacks from all kinds of rabble. And in the only major port, the Imperium's frigates find themselves moored alongside pirate vessels. Until recently, the Coronis Expanse could hardly have been called a region of the Imperium. The situation has changed with the arrival of the Lord Inquisitor, but not by much. This place operates under its own rules, you see. More radical, so to speak. But ones that allow for a non-standard approach where there is a promise of victory. The Coronis Expanse is considered rogue trader territory for a reason. Only rogue traders have sufficient military might, audacity, and the rights granted them by the warrant to survive the leap into the unexplored part of the Expanse, and in the event of a successful outcome, to hold on to whatever they manage to capture on the frontier. In the first instance, you should treat official representatives of the Imperium with respect. The Expanse may be on the fringes, but it still numbers among the territories of the Golden Throne. The arrival of the Lord Inquisitor has turned the Coronis Expanse into a less wild and uncontrolled region, to the regret of some individuals who had grown inured to the local lawlessness. Rogue traders such as yourself are also servants of the Imperium. They have been accorded special rights and powers. They wield immense authority within their territory, and they enjoy absolute respect in other parts of the Expanse. The most powerful of them are Kalagos Winterscale and Incendia Bastal Chorda. Tread carefully when dealing with either of them. If we are to speak of unclaimed territory, which is what Footfall is, among the scum that dwells on that handful of asteroids, there are 3 factions that wield considerable influence in the sector. The first is the Kazbala Commission, organized crime in its most primitive form. It holds sway over the Liege of Footfall, and has links to rogue trader Winterscale. The second faction is an offshoot of our shining ecclesiarchy, followers of St. Drusus. They are actively building their forces, and hold influence over rogue trader Chorda. And finally, the third faction, the Explorators, a wing of the Adeptus Mechanicus. They are willing to die and kill for the secrets of the ancient technological heresies that are hidden among the stars of the Coronis Expanse. You know, Lord Captain, I am no admirer of fine art. But when we next find ourselves in a civilized port, with time to spare, I will promptly find an artist and commission a portrait of the individual to whom you refer, with a hole between the eyes. Conrad Voigtveer. That he committed his treachery and escaped with his life was an unforgivable oversight.
Damn straight.
We both served Lord Captain Theodora for many years, and we never saw eye to eye. He was brash. He was never afraid of assuming responsibility, and he willingly took on difficult tasks. I am loath to admit it, but the Von Valacius Protectorate continues to reap the fruits of his labors to this day. His service always garnered my respect. But everything else about him made me want to wring the neck of that two-faced snake. If you are taking comfort in the thought that we will hear no more of Conrad, prepare to be disappointed. You thwarted his plans, his meticulously plotted and nurtured treachery. He is sure to attempt to strike at you, and he will use his contacts and knowledge of the Protectorate to do so. The only question, Lord Captain, is whether you will be able to anticipate his next steps. As you wish, Lord Captain. As you wish, Lord Captain. What would you like to know? I used to be an officer in the Navis Imperialis. No, used to be is not quite right. It was not simply a job. It was my calling, the essence of my life. I was proud to serve Lord Captain Theodora, but in my heart and mind, I'm still an officer of the Imperium. I met Lord Captain Theodora on a mission where the Imperial Navy was providing reinforcement to the rogue traders' army on one of the frontier worlds. Our acquaintance was not easy. Working with people outside the Navy hierarchy has never been my strong suit. It was to my great surprise then that after the mission's completion, I received a referral to leave my service in the Navy and join the rogue traders' personal council. It was a difficult choice for me. But I saw in the offer a chance to serve the interests of humanity even more effectively than in the Navis Imperialis. You do not need me to tell you just how remarkable a person Lord Captain Theodora was. I recognized her at once as a true leader and formidable creative force. One who had built a protectorate amidst the dangers and wildness of the Expanse. You could say there was no one among the naval command who was willing to impede the wishes of the rogue trader. To do so would be to risk their own position and their relationship with Theodora. Well, the Lord Captain possessed certain contacts in the Imperial Navy. Contacts which she used to request help during the conflict on the border world. And which enabled her to make me an offer that resulted in my joining her retinue. The Navis Imperialis is an ancient institution with its own mandates and muster lists. On occasion, in the heat of an official briefing, or an informal discussion, I violated those rules, determined to press my point. It is challenging to choose the words to accurately express my opinion on a situation or the actions of others that do not sound overly scathing or confrontational. Many in command were inclined to view my manner of speaking as unbefitting a person of my rank. I am a widower. I am a father of 4, and if my information is not outdated, a grandfather of 11. My family lives on Dargonus. None of my children express any eagerness or aptitude for serving aboard ship, and I would hardly have insisted that they follow in my footsteps. What? Lord Captain, any allegations of improper feelings or unsanctioned? Of course. Lord Captain.
Okay, so that's 2 companions. Where is... Yeah.
What are you talking about, Lord Captain?
Look, Lady Theodora couldn't care less if some eggheads measured my brains or not. It's not about the seal on your forehead, get it? It's about what's in your gut. If it's rotten or not. My gut's stronger than the adamantine on this here ship. And my implants are better than the ones they put in you on your Terra. If they weren't, I wouldn't have lived as long as I have.
Lyra, an outlying world in the Heathen Stars region. In the Coronis Expanse, the deeper you go, the less visible the Astronomicon gets, and the less people know about the Imperium. The arrival of a rogue trader is the best thing that can happen to a world like that. The very best. It's an out-of-the-way planetoid between 2 faint stars. On Lyra, a dozen local tyrants fight over 5 measly continents. But they use everything they can to win. From poison to psychers. I haven't been there in many years, but there's nothing for me to miss. Trust me. But here on the ship is a different story altogether. I saw more wonders in my first year serving Lady von Valancius than I'd seen in my whole life on Lyra. Like my first journey through the warp, I was in bed for 3 days. I felt like supernovas were exploding in my head. I only found out later that I'd gotten off easy. Just through the bulkhead in the bay next to mine, a whole team turned into... Look at me rambling on, Lord Captain. Pay no attention. It wasn't like it was a very fun trip, Lord Captain. But look, if you want to be entertained, I'm the woman for the job. I'll entertain you with one of the stories from my collection, no problem. But if you want to hear about the time I melted everyone in the bay next door, well, I just don't really want to go into the details on that one, all right? Oh, I embroidered wall hangings in honor of our national heroes. I did the same thing I do here, Lord Captain. Divining. Our rulers prized the ability to see into the future. Every psyker that could be found was worth a small fortune on Lyra.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as a peaceful life on Lyra. People like me were especially sought after. They'd pick psychers up wherever they found them, buy kids off their parents, even just abduct them. Take me for instance. I got taken from my street gang. The older kids sold me when they noticed there was something off about me. The ruling dynasties had schools where they trained us and beat us black and blue. And then they packed us off to serve. Some of us held on for a long time, but others didn't last. Not everyone's as smart and talented as me, you know. Some people crossed the line and were out of commission before their time.
Theodora von Valancius paid a visit to the ruler I was serving at the time. I don't know what the visit was for, and it's no business of mine anyway. I can still remember the way the voices in my head changed when I looked at her. They were practically screaming. She had so much behind her, and plenty ahead of her too.
And as I gawped at her, all of a sudden I heard a whisper. A hint, a suggestion, nothing more. But I know the difference between idle chatter and a real threat. I seized my chance and approached Theodora. I managed to whisper a couple of words in her ear before the wardens dragged me away. They beat me and locked me up. No wonder. It wasn't my place to converse with outsiders. And then, Theodora's people came for me. They broke down the wall, butchered their guards, also I could tell them my warning in full. So I said the rest, but I didn't want to go back to my old life. And so I entered the service of the von Valancius dynasty.
A few times. Not many. And if I think about it, why would I want to? I've got everything I need here. All the whispers I hear are familiar ones. They almost feel like family. And if I want to hear about the nightmares off the ship, I can. After some Amisec. But don't go getting the wrong idea. If I have to, I'll follow you to the edge of the galaxy. Of course, Lord Captain. Lord Captain, forgive me. But it would be like talking to a person born blind about colors. I could spend hours explaining, but it wouldn't make any sense to you. Every psyker feels their connection with the warp in their own way. One person might see spots and shadows out of the corner of their eye. Another feels fingers running down their spine. As for me, I've got a door in my head. One that's open just a crack. There's no way to close it, no matter how hard I try. I've just had to get used to the whispers from the other side. When I need to use it for work, I listen in more closely. But I usually just try not to notice it. Training, habit, and a little Amasec and a couple other things you can get on the lower decks. If you put all those together, it makes things bearable. Sometimes I even wonder if I'm imagining half the voices I hear. You know, when life on board gets a little boring. Better than listening to the living, anyhow. Well, if the door opens, that means somebody's planning to come in, right? But screw them. They're not coming through. Trust me, I know how to keep my valuable head locked up tight. Only losers who are afraid of their own gift lose control. Or idiots who never figure out what they are before it's too late. Or little kids who want to play around with their shiny new toy. If you don't know the limits of your abilities, or you're always bouncing around in your own head, that's a recipe for disaster. All right, that's what I'm here for after all. So, I'm just going to Lean on that door in my head a little more. All right, let's hear what they're whispering about you. Seek not on firm ground, but in a golden hall suspended in the void. There waits a child without kin, but with a name blind to truth. She draws the brush across the canvas and does not notice that her palette is full not of paint, but of blood. And with each smear, this well does not deplete, but fills and fills up to the brim. One thing is clear. When this vessel overflows, none will remain unstained. Among the blind men and false prophets, a red-robed sage seeks the answer to a question. He does not know that it is not the answer he must seek, but the question that will draw everything into focus. Will you help him, Rogue Trader? But mark that sometimes ignorance is sweeter than oblivion. A chained hound chases after glimmers of the aurora, but sparks in the scent of oil confound his nose. The chain trails after him. What will happen if you pick it up? Will you become his master, or merely another beast in the pack of his true lord? The glow of dawn bursts forth from its prison. Dungeon walls cannot contain the dark essence wallowing in the dust. A naive cub pushes his nose into a familiar hand, one that holds death in twisted glass. Cherish it or cast it off as a burden. The sword of change has already been raised. What is one more life to it? I'm sorry, Lord Captain. The voices are going wild. I can't make out a thing. I'll try to rein them in, somehow. But for now,
None of the officers knew the Lord Captain well, not even Abelard, and she was always closer to him than anyone else. She told me from the off if I ever listened to anything in the warp about her without her permission, I'd be going out through the airlock. I'm not an idiot, so I never stuck my nose where it didn't belong. Only when I was asked.
It's hard to wrap my head around the fact that she's gone. Lady von Valancius gave me everything I have. She opened the stars to me and the paths between them. I still think I can hear her voice. The little sister is afflicted with her own set of voices. Ones that whisper to her about corruption and heresy. The silly girl doesn't realize that if she wants to find the source, she needs to start by looking in her own head. Of course.
Okay, so that's talking to all the companions. All the other minor ones I'm not going to do because they're... So we have the board. So we have my quarters, the shrine, at least my quarters now, technically. Alright. So that's it. Bathroom. Okay, so we're gonna go move on and continue with the story. Okay. So you guys see there's basically three. We have Eric Faj, Satellite, we have this planet, we have Marcus Mars. Oh, yes. Alright, so the item that we just got, so we only have one psyker in the party. I'm gonna give it to her. So that's gonna help her out. So before we go to the first planet, we're gonna scan these two. Alright, well, we don't get really anything because we don't have a mobile drilling platform. Okay. So as you guys see, we actually get access to to their gear. So we actually have we only have access to this. We want to, by the end of this act, we want to get to at least act access to this. So, as you see, we can't really buy this because we are 11 power factor short. Don't worry, if you follow what I'm about to do, you should be able to get it. So, there are 3 choices. We have Eric 5, this planet, and Arcus North. So, if we actually go here first, we can get access to a companion, which will do. I can't really, choose where they are in the order, which sucks. But it is what it is.
Pathetic worm. You dare to argue with your master?
It was not you whom I swore to serve within these walls. My lips are sealed.
Confess. What was the old man's last command? What are you planning?
Give up, Keeper. You have lost this battle. Again.
We're getting nowhere with these ones, sir. Permission to execute them.
Oh.
A new challenge for me?
And we need
White. Bright, pure color. And it's all riddled with horrible veins that carry the poison of fear and pain throughout its body. Who are you? Why are you crying?
If the witch is talking about the enemies of humanity who set upon this abode of noble navigators, then our weapons will soon dispel their wicked misery.
An expected result.
Hey, yay. We had a passive.
I won't
okay.
tolerate
We should
weakness.
deal with this.
Never doubt me.
Attention to detail is the key to success.
I better myself through my service.
Victory awaits!
This ocular implant was a worthwhile investment.
Take a knee and bow before me! You dare cross the faithful?
Okay, so yeah, because we're out of position. So we'll go here. Yeah, we'll go here. We'll have no choice but that. Grouped up in the middle.
Follow my lead.
Mocking me.
My faith strengthens me. Weapon at the ready.
It's nothing.
Wow, she's not being lucky.
Doubt is for the weak.
Wow, she cannot.
Stay vigilant.
She was an 80%.
Break their morale. Follow my lead. Follow my lead.
I'll live another day.
I can't really aim because I don't have, yeah, I don't have a good range, but that's okay.
Tried and tested tactics are the best ones. It will be done.
My faith strengthens me.
My ears are ringing.
Will do. What an unfortunate turn of fate.
Weapon at the ready.
Brace yourself, Abelard.
Stay vigilant.
Abelard's putting in the work.
Faith without deeds is worthless. I will bathe this battlefield in righteous fury. As the Emperor commands,
Break their morale!
I've suffered
Follow
worse.
my lead.
Not a problem for me. Forge ahead.
Can't really assist because I don't have the
High momentum.
weaponry.
My place is at the fore. Indeed. I'd rather not. Victory is imminent. At your beck and one fewer target.
Weather the storm.
the enemies of the Emperor will be undone! I'll do it.
Follow my lead.
Suits my purposes.
Follow my lead. I will do my duty. I'm not interested.
Guided by faith. As the Emperor commands eradicated.
Nice. I don't think I'm gonna need that, so always go to cargo. I don't think I'm gonna need blast pistols anyways, but I'll keep the armor.
None shall stand in my way.
Last guns I'll keep. Sunday. You know what? I'll go over with cargo. Because I have that well-maintained one.
I did fine. Follow my lead.
Grenades I'll keep, because those can actually be very useful.
I'll lay claim to the stars.
I want to go through the store.
Over there.
The Emperor favors me today.
The crew continues to mourn Lady Theodora. I fear it may affect the performance of their duties in service of the Lord Captain.
Let the people grieve. Lady Theodora was with us so long that we started to believe she was immortal.
Yeah, that's never a good thing for crew people. How am I on cargo? So I have a ranged weaponry, I have an armor kit, I have holy gifts, I have provisions. I have another thing of
A new challenge for me?
Compared to naval service, that was barely a challenge.
a Mars pattern sword and question is that gonna be better? The sword that I just picked up, is it gonna be better? It is gonna be better for him. I am going to, you know, have him use that, but I am going to actually
attention to
Victory
detail
awaits.
is the key to success.
Where do you shut the strap? That guy's seriously insane. Oh, there's the trap. Okay. Door. And we are going to disarm the trap.
Duty prevails.
Nice.
It's about time. Excellence matters. Done.
Alright, we have a carapace armor. It doesn't actually give. Hey, no, let's.
None shall stand in my way. I won't tolerate
I'll
weakness.
Alright.
I'll lay claim to the stars.
So the elevator controls are already fully
Follow my lead!
That was weird. I believe there's actually another encounter down here.
It's about time.
I think I have to go back to that concentrator and actually... No, that's not it. Yeah, it's right back here. Okay, now that this open.
Victory awaits!
Is there any...
The Emperor favors me today.
None shall stand in my way.
Yeah, okay, so this is... for something that's like... I don't even know if it's actually useful or not. I don't think it is. I regularly remember watching a video on that.
I'll lay claim to the stars. Something of interest.
Oh yeah. That's all for. Yeah, it's not really.
A new challenge for me.
Nothing's impossible for this old officer. Experience? Nothing matters more. An expected result.
Oh, I was thinking I might be able to farm XP. We're almost level 6 by the way. I thought we already had the broad.
Compared to naval service, that was barely a challenge.
Follow my lead.
Ah, there it is. Alright, so now that we have that, now we can go back. Here.
Nothing's impossible for this old officer.
Although he not. We have like a bunch of stuff that we can actually give them. Oh, we actually have some scrap. Okay, so now we have the RAM is upgraded and the hull is upgraded. Nice. Wait,
Experience. Nothing matters more.
I won't tolerate weakness.
yeah, we have the control rod.
It's about time.
An expected result.
I'll lay claim to the stars. None shall stand in my way.
Okay, so I am now at level 6, so let me proceed to level up, and then we'll continue on. Alright, for Judge Red, he's going to be getting agility and consecrated fire. Moving on to Abelard next. Alright, for Abelard, he's going to get Sworn Enemy, which makes it so he gains armor equal to 10 plus 2 times toughness. And he also gets strength 2 plus strength bonus against on melee attacks against them. If the target actually attacks him during this round, he gains plus 1 AP, which is very nice. He's also going to get plus 10 athletics, and that's going to be it for Abelard. Next up is Adira. Alright, Adira is going to get Tide of Excellence. When the operator triggers an exploit on enemy, the operative gains plus 1 damage and plus 2 armor penetration until the end of the complex. Only applies to the first strike or projectile in a burst attack. It stacks. She's also going to get 5 more willpower, and that's going to be it for her. Next up is Argenta. Alright, so Argenta's going to get 5 more ballistic skill, and she's also going to get dash. The soldier immediately dashes in a selected direction, spending all of their movement points. Does not provoke opportunity attacks. Allows the soldier to dash through allies and enemies, but not through obstacles. So basically, if she gets into a melee situation, she can actually use that to back away and not get an attack of opportunity. Great. And that's it for all the levels. Let's continue on with the main story. Alright, we're going to continue with the story. Let's activate the elevator. Well, let's actually save first. Oh no, this is going to be a massive combat because we have, we have my team's turn, allies' turn, and then we also have enemy's turn.
Submit, and you'll die quickly.
Okay.
None of you shall survive!
So, Abelard's gonna take on the big boy. Red is going to help on the flank. And then we're gonna have Argenta's gonna help on the other flank. And Adira's gonna help out where she can. Without shocking allies. So, I actually get to go first for change.
Not my specialty.
Problem is, my allies are actually in the way. shotgun is attack is considered a
They who discern the future own the battlefield.
and she's gonna give Abelard that buff in the tank. And then she's gonna
But of course.
lightning. Adventure's going to
Doubt is for the weak.
not really how I was hoping to kill him.
Emperor, give me strength. Trust I will
So
grace.
this is what makes Kavfire actually so good, is because she has that massive ability,
Strengthens me.
and it's not a psychic ability too.
Weapon at the ready. Stay vigilant.
Follow my lead.
Okay, so he's going to target him. He's
Indeed.
in door.
At your beck and call.
Brace for impact.
A tactically
over
sound
here.
approach.
He's going to attack.
Onward.
Break their morale.
Moving out. I must not falter.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go over here.
Let's see how they respond to this.
So I actually have flanking.
Opposing me was your biggest mistake.
Oh, nice!
Nothing I can't.
Nothing of value has been lost.
Triple kill for me.
I know what is to come. Farewell.
Alright, so I think, yeah. So the flanks are now secure here.
I took care of this one.
And battle done.
Now, this is your burden, child. Survive. Return to the fold of your house as your destiny demands.
No! Don't leave me alone in this violet-brown haze! Wake up! Your mistress is giving you an order! Do you hear me?
He was a fine seer of the warp. He fought for his mistress until the end.
Yeah, no. Enough's enough. I've had my fill of waterworks, thank you.
What need have I for your regrets? I just want things to go back to the way they were before. What are you going to do to me? beg your pardon, but what about my servants? Your Act 5 is still full of people loyal to House Orselio. As a Lady Navigator of House Orselio, I accept your gracious offer of protection. Please...
Okay, so let's loot these guys and get out of here.
Follow my lead.
Okay. Yeah, shotgun. It's no, I don't get any upgrades. So I'm gonna put you in the cargo.
Victory awaits.
The premonition runs true.
Double checking something here real quick. Because I actually have this written down. Okay, so we just gained 2 profit factor. So that's one of the ways we can actually get more profit factor is actually to do stuff like that. Okay, so before we actually... No. So before we actually end this episode, we're going to level up Cassia. I can't pronounce her name right. And then we'll end it. So let me quickly hop to her little page. Okay, she gets 2 level ups. So that's, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, okay. So, first off, we'll give her, willpower. And then we'll also give her mastery of time. Whenever an ally in combat gains an extra turn, the Navigator gains a stacking +5 bonus until to willpower until the end of combat. Stacks up to 5 times, up to 25%, 25 willpower. That's massive. She also will get find it. Yes, here we are. Mind over matter. The Navigator makes all resistance tests with their willpower. If it's higher than the base characteristics for the test. If the willpower is higher than their toughness, the Navigator wounds are calculated according to the willpower. I have no idea what that means. And she also get another 5 willpower. And that is it for this episode. Thank you for watching. This is Kavfire signing off. I hope you all have a lovely day. Peace.